Okay, welcome to my 6-step blog video. I think today's gonna just be a short one because you'll see why. So I started off this week reading and learning more about product-led growth. Specifically in that book, there's a chapter there about the bowling alley framework, and it's about creating a straight line onboarding process. What you want to do, according to this book, is to want to make this whole onboarding as smooth and easy as possible. And there are 3 questions asked that you might want to use to cut off the things that are in your onboarding flow. And the 3 questions are: what can we eliminate, what can we delay, and what are the mission critical steps? At least those 3 things. Again, I'm not going to go through the details here because I think it deserves its own video. And so this week I focus on product onboarding flow, setting up the product bumpers. The product bumpers that I decided to use is something called an empty state. An empty state is essentially as soon as they log in, so as soon as they register to the application, everything is basically empty. That's really it. So Gmail does this, and they provide you a checklist that you might want to complete to make the most of that application. And the whole point of this is so that you get to explore around the app, so the user can quickly evaluate what this app is all about, and then eventually just guiding them into the main product. There's even something called a conversational bumper. The conversational bumper is similar to the product bumper, but essentially it educates the user for a wide different topics. It could be on onboarding them, a welcome email. For my application, I decided to use a conversational bumper when they enter a grace period trial. And so what do they do if they are on the verge of ending their free trial account? And so they enter a grace period. For me, it's 3, 5, 7. So the 3rd email is going to be a warning. The 5th email is going to be final, and then 7 is like the end date of their free trial. So that's kind of how I thought about that. It's still in work in progress, but the whole point of that is to convert them to a paying customer. That's really it. So I think last week I talked about converting the value metric to using call metrics. Yeah. But the thing is, when I started this week, all I had in mind is just getting a customer. I need to get a customer. I need to actually put this out there. And so I had different plans. I could talk about how I want to reduce the cost for running the app. I could talk about, different things like that. I could talk about more features. But when I started this week, all I wanted is I need a customer. It's the second last week of February, and it's well overdue. And so I actually put those things aside and decided that, okay, what do I need? What do I need to actually get this out there? And in the book Product-Led Growth, once again, there is this chapter all about optimizing for growth. And one of them there's one chapter there about, he gave you a framework called the AAA sprint that essentially gives you a way to build a sustainable growth process that can be used by any of your team in your business. So it's divided into 3 things. One of them is analyze. In order to build a growth machine for your business, you need to analyze your inputs and outputs. So that's exactly what I did. It's like, what are my main outputs for this app? And he kind of gave you a good idea here. So the number of signups, the number of upgrades, what is your MRR, what is your ARR, what's your churn, what is your average revenue per user, kind of like an LTV. And so I started listing out what have I been doing, and then I use these outputs to then guide me to where I want to go, right? Because that's the whole point. And I realized there's only a couple things that's well in line here, and clearly I've been way off track this week. And so I started to steer the ship towards getting more signups. So what does that constitute? That includes launching the client to production. That includes launching the server to production, which I will talk about later. That includes, getting a domain, getting a support email, setting up a basic CRM. Maybe I don't even need a CRM for now, but still I need a way to keep track of my potential customers are. And the one-page marketing plan. When it comes to that, do I need to work on the landing page? I still need to work on the copywriting on that landing page. It's like, oh god, there's so many things. I have a landing page on Framer, but in order to set it under a custom domain, you have to pay for it. And to me, I just find that completely unnecessary, because I could either chuck all of the landing. I could either use my client or the web-based client and then host the landing page there, or I could either use, or I have to, but it's gonna require recreating the landing page that I have for Framer. I can still use the Framer, but with not using the custom domain page. I know maybe it's not a big deal, I guess, but I just find it a bit more formal if you use the same domain name, just so you don't confuse anyone. I don't know. Maybe I might just do that, because I prefer if I don't have to recreate it, because my goal is just to get it out there, even if it's the most scrappy thing. As long as there's a working payment issue, as long as there's a working payment provider, that's all that matters to me. Like, as long as it's working. Yeah. And so I've been working on launching those, launching the database, the serverless Redis, setting up those. And the biggest issue I had when doing this is what surprised me the most is how difficult it is to launch this on Heroku. Now, if you don't know this, like if you haven't been watching this channel, like in previous live streams that I did, I think it was last year, I did launch this on production mode on Heroku, and I never had any issues. For some reason, when I'm relaunching it now, there's a ton of issues with just build, the missing packages. So for some reason, something changed I don't know, but it works locally, but it doesn't work on Heroku. So that took me about, I think, a day to just figure out what was going on. And what I found is really like the only issue that I had there is this library, this bundler library that simply wasn't working. It had the synchronization issues with the package .lock on Node.js, something like that. It's just so many issues. I don't want to get into it, but it was just such a waste of time just figuring that out. And then the other one is, okay, so if you think that's the only issue, I even had an issue when it came to migrating my schema to my serverless database. That also made a ton of issues. I just couldn't connect. I couldn't connect my Node.js client and then interact with this serverless instance. For some reason, it wasn't simply working. Yeah, and then that took me another day, so that cut me another day off. So when I'm working on these projects, I try to cut the limit of how much I'm spending so that I can like fully optimize. I can work much faster. But when it comes to issues like this, I really just wanted to get it out of the way, because I knew that if I figured this out quickly, then I would be moving as fast as I could. But this was the most surprising thing, where I was able to connect to the database via the terminal, but I wasn't able to connect my Node.js client to this database, which is so weird. To get around this issue, to actually migrate my schema, what I did is I literally just used the terminal. I still generated the migration, and then I had to manually push the new change. Yeah, It's definitely something I've never done before, so it's really a good learning. I've got everything that I need. So right now, what I'm actually working on is setting up the support ticket. I've also connected this to a local Notion website, a Notion website just for FAQs, for support pages, for the chain logs, just to add that in there. Yeah, make sure I add these things. But other than that, it's actually well prepared. Like, all I need to do is, since the server is now out there, all I need is the final things that I need is the social media pages, the privacy and policy. What else? I need to pass the external testing for the external app review for the App Store, and I think and then of course I have to work on the copywriting. I've already got a copywriting for this landing page. I have a landing page that's, maybe it's not the greatest, but it's something. Because my goal right now is just to get it out there. And it's enough with the waiting. Let's get this thing out. And yeah, I think that's gonna be my main focus. Today is Friday. I'm kind of reporting in. So yeah, maybe I should make a video on product led, because that's a really great book. It's a really great book, and there's a ton of frameworks there. Pricing strategies, that was from last week. I learned about the outputs that you need to keep track of, the how to reduce your churn rate, how to increase your LTVs, ARPU, and so much more. Maybe I should make a video on that. I don't know. Let's see. I just want to continue making this because yeah, I guess I do kind of feel bad for I guess I do feel guilty because it felt like I didn't do much for this week, and yeah, I don't feel sorry for it, but because that is just the way it is. Like, it took so long just to get those bugs out of the way, and they're so annoying. It's like, you can see it, they're really annoying, but now they're all fixed. Because I could have procrastinated and done other things, but now they're all fixed, and all I need to do is to speed right through it and pass the external testing. That's really all I need at this point. Regardless of how shitty the landing page, like, we can talk about that. The UI, let's talk about that, or the app design, yeah. But the whole point of the app is the core features, the screening, the screening at least the basic thing is the screening, because we could definitely expand away from just a filtering system to something even more. But I do need to validate the idea. And I think that's it. That's it for this week. Yeah, that's it for this week. If you haven't seen my previous video, click here so you can check what happened last week. And yeah, that's it.